Hi guys, carrying on from me talking about ghosts aren't scary. Yes, I know they are, because I know we're frightened of them because we don't understand them. Okay, so I've dealt with that. I get lots of comments from people saying that they were scared of when they saw a ghost, and of course they were. Of course we are. Of course, well, I am. But I'm still trying to get over to people the fact that, yes, they're scary, but we shouldn't be scared because, as I've said before, they were just human beings like you and me. Don't let's kid ourselves that there is no evil out there, because we know there is. And I'm a great believer that your ego, that's your personality, you, goes on. So if you're an evil person, your ego goes with you, and I presume you stay evil. If what happened to you makes you angry, then I can understand you getting a bit evil. But the number of people over the years that have, obviously, because of my 31 years now ghost hunting, the number of people that say to me, have you seen a ghost? And yes, I have. I've seen a ghost. I've heard a ghost. I've travelled with a ghost. And I had a very strange encounter with a ghost on the battlefield of Gettysburg. All for the future. But it's got to be everybody. It's, have you seen a ghost? And yeah, I've seen a ghost in Derby Jail. I had so many people will have heard this story. Just if you've heard it already, go to sleep for a bit, switch off. But there's, I'm sure, an awful lot of you out there around the world that haven't heard it. So guys, here it goes. I saw a ghost at 3:20 in broad daylight on a Friday afternoon in Derby Jail. I was not thinking about ghosts. I was on the phone to a guy from Derby City Council. Many years ago, I organised, as chairman of Derby Tourism, I organised a Bonnie Prince Charlie parade every year. And the guy that plays Bonnie Prince Charlie had rung me, works for Derby City Council. His name was Darren Best. And he rang me up to discuss. It was the last Friday in November. And the parade was always the first weekend in December. And we were chatting away, and I was stood in the corridor of Derby Jail, the corridor that led up to the gallows. 3:20 on Friday afternoon. I'm chatting away when this grey, hazy shape of a person glided down the corridor. There was a cutout window. I'm actually in the kitchen of Derby Jail. Is actually a prison cell. Was a prison cell, and a big cutout square window had been cut into the kitchen, and you could see into the corridor. There's me on the phone talking to this guy as this grey hazy shape of a person, not male, not female, not clothed, a grey hazy. If I've said this once, I've said this 20,000 times. It was so distinctly grey. It was a grey haze, person shaped. I couldn't see through it. I couldn't see the wall on the other side of it. It was wasn't solid, but I couldn't see through it. I saw it and I sensed it. And I'm not talking about the corner of my eye sort of job. I'm talking about full on, a full blown apparition is the only way I can describe it. It looked, excuse me, it looked what I believe a ghost should look like. A bit like Casper. I mean, if you could imagine someone walking, gliding down a corridor with a sheet over their head. That was the shape that this figure was. It was very ghost-like, there's no doubt about it. Took me by surprise, because don't forget, as I've been saying for years and years and years, and I've told you recently that I'm frightened of ghosts. I'd never seen a ghost before, and there it is, full on, gliding past me for at least 4 seconds. And then I lost it because it got to the corner of the corridor, and there's a cut-out window, obviously, and as it got to the corner, I could no longer see it. And luckily, I know the guy, and I said, Darren, mate, I've just seen a ghost. He said, Dad, don't be so ridiculous. I said, no, I'm not kidding, mate. I've just seen, just hang on a minute, just hang on a minute. I said, and this is where reality kicked in, because I had to convert to reality what I'd just seen. And so I thought, we're not open, but someone's come in. Yeah, they look a little strange, like they're a grey hazy shape of a person, but someone's come in. So I said, just a minute, just a minute. And I put the phone down on the counter, and I put my head round the front of the kitchen, the counter, so I could see down into the corridor, not the corridor, into the main corridor of the jail, where this apparition had just gone into. And expecting someone to be there, I just shouted, excuse me, expecting to see someone. There was no one there. There was nobody there. That was the only entrance, and it was not there. Then, hang on, I'm telling everybody that they're not scary. Yeah, that's when the hair on the back of my neck stood up, because I'd just seen a ghost. I went back on the phone and I said, Darren, my friend, I hope you don't mind, but we may stay on the phone a little longer than I'd originally anticipated. He said, well, what do you mean, Richard? I said, I'll tell you what I mean, mate. When I put this phone down, I'm on my own. And we chatted for a while, and I felt a bit of a wuss. And I said, well, Darren, I'm afraid I shall have to go, won't I? I need to let you get on with some work. Yeah, he says, well, yeah, I have got some work to do. So I said, okay, right, thank you very much. Put the phone down, and then, of course, realised I'm alone with what's just come in. You know, the next thing, funnily enough, that happens is literally before I'd even left the building, the phone went again, and it was my son, William. And the first thing I said to him was, William, I've just seen a ghost. And he wasn't very old at the time, probably 8. I think this voice shouts, Mum, Dad's just seen a ghost. Well, my wife, Julia, doesn't do ghosts. I'm afraid. Once you're dead, guys, and that's the end of it as far as Julia's concerned. And she came on the phone. She said, what's happened? I said, I've just seen a ghost for the phone. She was actually quite, what's the word? Friendly towards me. She said, well, never mind that. He said, I need you to get all the glasses because we've got an event tomorrow night and we need the glasses from behind the bar. I need them putting in a box and bringing home. And I said, you are kidding. If you think I'm staying here, she said, don't be so ridiculous. Come on, get the box and get it sorted out. I said, well, look, only on condition, this is true, only on condition that you stay on the phone. So Julia stayed on the phone. I put the phone down, obviously, and I start gathering glasses, looking around me all the time, gathering glasses, putting in the box, and talking to my wife at the same time, saying, yep, you still there? Oh, yes, I can hear you. Yeah, because it was this sense of still having someone alive with me. And so in the end, I managed to fill the box with glasses, and then realised, of course, that I'd got to go up the corridor, because that's the way out, up the corridor where I saw a ghost. So I said, right, I'm going now. I put the phone out and panic stations. And I came out, up the corridor, slammed the door, didn't switch the lights off or anything, just left it and went back. I was running a heritage centre at the time. And I walked back into the heritage centre, and I remember people saying to me, what's the matter with you? And of course, you know what comes next, don't you? You look as if you've seen a ghost. Then, of course, Richard starts, yeah, well, I just have, blah, blah, blah. And off I went, telling everybody the account. They're not, I don't call them stories, I call them accounts. What I saw, I believe I saw. That is not a story, that's an account. Now, Mr. Credible here, the man that's trying to prove it, the first thing you've got to do is tick all the normal boxes. And I've tried everything over the years to try and disprove what I've seen. Was it a foggy day? It was the end of November. But could a piece of fog really glide down the steps of my jail, along the corridor past me, not only letting me see it, but getting me to sense it as well? I don't think so. Had I got the fire on? Was there a fire burning? Was there smoke? No, it wasn't on. Had you got the kettle boiling? Was it steam from the kettle? No, I hadn't. Had you got the dishwasher on? Was it steam from the dishwasher? No, the dishwasher wasn't on. There's nothing. Oh, what about infrasound? It's a corridor oscillation causing fear factor. Very good friend of mine, Steve Parsons, who runs an incredible group called Parascience, has a machine that detects infrasound. Now, infrasound can cause strange things to happen to people. His machine has proved there is no infrasound in that corridor. Guys, I have only one explanation for you. I saw a ghost in Derby Jail. But guess what? It didn't get me, because they're not there to get you. The profession of a ghost, if it had one, would not be scary. Honestly. But of course we're scared. We're scared of things we don't understand. If a spaceship lands, what would we do? We'd run. We'd call the police. The police had come. They'd phoned it for the army. The army had come. What would they do to it? They'd nuke it. Why? Because we've seen too much Hollywood. Too much War of the Worlds. Same with ghosts. We've seen too many ghost programs, too many paranormal programs on television. It's all about, are you scared? Dare you do this? There's more to it than that, guys, I promise you. And there's more to come from me. Do sleep well and don't have nightmares.